The transport ship creaked through the void, its hull scarred by decades of service along the outer rim trade routes. Captain Marcus Webb sat in the cargo bay, reviewing manifest data on his tablet when the smuggler's compartment hissed open. She emerged slowly, her limbs trembling with obvious exhaustion. The Valoran woman was tall, perhaps 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like polished copper in the dim lighting. Her large eyes, violet and luminous, darted nervously around the bay before settling on Marcus. Like all her species, she possessed an otherworldly grace despite her weakened state. "Please," she whispered in accented but clear standard. "I have nowhere else to turn." Marcus set down his tablet and studied her carefully. Her clothing was torn, revealing patches of bioluminescent markings that pulsed faintly beneath her skin. Those markings told stories among her people, he knew. Hers spoke of loss. "How did you get aboard my ship?" he asked, keeping his voice neutral. "I hid when you docked at Station 7. I had no choice." She took a hesitant step forward, her legs nearly buckling. "The consortium has placed a bounty on me. They will dissect me, study me, sell my genetic material to the highest bidder." Marcus had heard the stories. The Galactic Consortium viewed certain species as commodities rather than citizens. Valorans, with their unique biological traits, were particularly prized. Their tissue could regenerate rapidly, their blood carried medicinal properties, and their neural patterns could interface with quantum computers in ways no other known species could match. "What did you do to earn their attention?" he asked. "I refused to breed in captivity." Her voice cracked slightly. "They took my sister, my mother, made them into living factories. I escaped before they could do the same to me." She lowered herself carefully to her knees, a gesture clearly painful. Her hands clasped together in a pleading gesture that transcended species barriers. "I know what humans value," she said quietly. "I have studied your people. You seek pleasure, companionship, novelty. My body is the only bargain I have." She met his eyes directly, her own glistening with moisture. "Please be gentle." The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. In all his years running cargo along the frontier, he had seen desperation in many forms. But this raw, honest offering of self in exchange for survival struck something deep within him. He stood slowly and walked toward her. She flinched, but held her position, accepting what she believed was inevitable. Marcus crouched down until they were at eye level. "Stand up," he said quietly. She hesitated, confusion flickering across her features. "Stand up," he repeated, more firmly this time. The Valoran woman rose unsteadily to her feet, her height once again apparent. She waited, uncertain. "My name is Marcus." "What's yours?" "Lysa," she replied, her voice barely audible. "Lysa, I'm going to tell you something important, and I need you to listen carefully." He kept his tone measured and calm. Human dignity isn't measured by what we take from others. It's measured by what we protect. Her luminous eyes widened slightly. "You don't owe me your body. You don't owe me anything except honesty." He gestured toward a supply crate. "Sit down before you collapse. When was the last time you ate?" 3 days, she admitted, sinking onto the crate with visible relief. Marcus retrieved a ration pack from the storage locker and handed it to her. She stared at it as if it might be poisoned. "It's safe," he assured her. "Not fancy, but it'll keep you alive." She opened the pack with shaking hands and began eating slowly, her eyes never leaving him. The wariness remained, but something else entered her expression too, cautious hope. "The consortium has reach everywhere," she said between bites. "If they find me on your ship, they will confiscate your vessel and imprison you. I know the risks I'm asking you to take. Then we'll make sure they don't find you," Marcus replied simply. "Why?" The question burst from her. "Why would you help me without demanding payment?" Every species I have encountered operates on exchange. Value for value. Marcus pulled up a second crate and sat across from her. Let me tell you about humanity, Lysa. We're not perfect. We've got our share of criminals, slavers, and monsters. But we've also got something that's kept us going through every hardship we've faced. Stubbornness. He leaned forward slightly. We're stubborn about freedom. We're stubborn about the idea that sentient beings shouldn't be property. We fought wars among ourselves over these principles. Millions died so that others could live free. But I am not human, she protested. Doesn't matter. His voice carried absolute conviction. The principle doesn't change based on how many limbs you have or what color your skin is. If you're sentient, if you can think and feel and choose, then you deserve freedom. Lysa finished the ration pack in silence, processing his words. Her bioluminescent markings pulsed more steadily now, shifting from dim amber to a softer blue. Those markings, Marcus observed. They indicate emotion? She nodded. Blue means confusion mixed with relief. I do not understand you, Marcus Webb, but I am grateful. You'll understand humans better with time. He stood and retrieved a blanket from another storage container. The cargo bay isn't comfortable, but it's hidden from standard scans. You'll stay here until we reach neutral territory. How long? 4 days to the border worlds? The consortium has no jurisdiction there. He handed her the blanket. There are communities that help refugees start over. I know people who can get you proper documentation and new identity if needed. And you truly want nothing in return? Her voice still carried disbelief. Marcus met her violet gaze steadily. I want you to have the chance to live your own life, to make your own choices. That's all. For the first time, something resembling a smile touched her features. It was strange, not quite matching human expressions, but the emotion behind it was unmistakable. Your species is very strange, she said softly. We get that a lot. He moved toward the bay exit. Get some rest. I'll bring more food in a few hours, and we can work on a better hiding spot if needed. Marcus? She stopped him with his name. Among my people, we have a saying, the strongest bonds are forged not in chains, but in freely given trust. I did not expect to learn this from a human. Maybe our peoples aren't so different after all, he replied. Over the next 4 days, Marcus brought Lysa food, medical supplies for her injuries, and information about the border worlds. They talked during his off shifts, sharing stories of their respective species. She taught him about Valoran culture, about the sophisticated civilization the consortium had slowly dismantled over decades. He told her about Earth, about humanity's own struggles and triumphs. She learned that humans were indeed stubborn, but also remarkably adaptable. They possessed a fierce protective instinct for the vulnerable, regardless of origin. It was this quality, Marcus explained, that had driven humanity to become a thorn in the consortium's side, repeatedly interfering with their exploitation of other species. We're not strong enough to fight them directly, he admitted during one conversation, but we're damn good at creating problems for them. Underground networks, smuggling routes for refugees, hidden colonies. Death by 1,000 cuts. You risk much for strangers, Lysa observed. Someone once did the same for my grandmother, Marcus replied. During Earth's corporate wars, she was property of a mining company. A stranger helped her escape. I figure I'm just paying forward a very old debt. When they finally reached border world space, Marcus helped Lysa connect with a human-run refuge organization. The coordinator, an older woman named Patricia, embraced Lysa gently and promised her safety. Before she left his ship, Lysa turned to Marcus one final time. Her markings glowed a warm golden color he hadn't seen before. This color, she said, gesturing to her skin, means profound gratitude and respect. I came to you expecting exploitation, prepared to endure it for survival. Instead, you showed me that honor exists beyond the boundaries of species. Just be free, Lysa, Marcus said simply. That's thanks enough. If ever you need aid, call for me. The Valoran memory is long, and debts of honor are sacred to us. She placed her hand over her heart in what he'd learned was a gesture of deep respect among her people, then departed with Patricia. Marcus watched them go, then returned to his ship. There would be other refugees, other desperate souls seeking escape from the consortium's hunger. The work was dangerous, often thankless, and paid almost nothing. But as he plotted course for his next destination, Marcus smiled slightly. Humanity had learned hard lessons about the cost of freedom and the poison of treating sentient beings as property. Those lessons had become part of their identity, their stubborn insistence on dignity for all thinking creatures. It was, he reflected, perhaps humanity's greatest export to the galaxy, the radical notion that freedom wasn't negotiable and that protecting it was worth any risk. The ship's engines hummed to life, carrying him back into the vast darkness where others waited, hoping for salvation. And Marcus, like countless humans scattered across the stars, would be there to answer that hope. Because some bargains should never be asked, and some prices should never be paid.